All right, let me take you into that night the way I lived it, with nothing but a sharp blue dress, a pair of heels, and the kind of quiet you only earn after surviving 1,000 little indignities you never talk about. You ever step out of a room full of power music still echoing in your bones, city lights making the world look softer than it really is, and just for a moment, you think, maybe tonight, nothing will happen? Yeah, that was me. Olivia Wallace. Not some celebrity, not anyone special, just a black woman driving home from a gala, engine humming low, streets empty as a preacher's church at midnight, just wanting the world to let her glide home in peace. But if you know anything about this country, you know peace for some of us is always rented, never owned. So I'm easing through the dark, passing sleepy neighborhoods, hands at 10 and 2 like my mother taught me, when suddenly bam those blue lights in my rear view. No sight in, just that strobing warning, like a surgeon's scalpel in the dark. And let me tell you, if you've ever been in my shoes, you know exactly how your heart does that sick little double beat, even if you've done absolutely nothing wrong. You keep your hands on the wheel, you don't reach for your bag, you don't roll the window all the way down. You wait, not because you're scared, but because you know the choreography by heart. That's what surviving teaches you. Protocol is armor. Out step two officers white, youngish, the kind who wear their belts heavy and their smiles light. One takes his time, the other circles like he's got all night. The first comes close, flashlight low, tapping on my glass like he owns my Tuesday night. I crack the window. He leans in, breath heavy with suspicion and aftershave. "This your car, ma'am?" he says, flashlight burning right into my eyes. I don't move, don't blink, don't give him the satisfaction of a tremor. You learn to treat questions like this as traps and invitations at the same time. His partner tries a softer line, no reason to be nervous, like it's an act of kindness that he's talking at all. Then, mind opening the trunk? No cause, no citation, just the performance of authority, slow and lazy, trying to get a reaction. I pop the trunk with a deliberate motion, put my hands right back where he can see them. They don't check the trunk. Not really. One whispers sideways, "Get the footage right this time." Not to Mito, his buddy. That's when I knew. This wasn't about the law. It was about the ritual. Flashlight swings back to my face. I sit still, let my fingers flex just once. "No need to get tense," he says. "We're just making sure everything's in order." That smirk of Hissman, I wish I could bottle it, sell it to anyone who thinks dignity can't be stolen in a smile. Finally, they back away. "Have a good night," he says, voice flat as poker chips. They drive off, and the silence settles, thicker than it was before, heavy with everything they didn't say. Except, not 10 seconds later, one comes back. Different vibe this time. Knuckles tap the window like we're in a bar, and he's about to ask what I'm drinking. I roll it down 2 inches, and he leans in again. "What do you do, ma'am?" The word ma'am is a razor when it comes wrapped in suspicion. I answer, "Financial consultant." He laughs, repeating it like a joke for the locker room. "Out here dressed like that? Tonight's a real unicorn event, huh?" His eyes drop to my shoes, linger too long on the neckline of my dress, then back to his partner. "We should check that bag. They say no warrant, just expectation." I open it before they can. ID, cards, corporate badge. He brushes it aside, like proof is an insult. Then his partner, grinning. "Don't tell me this is somebody's wife boss's wife, maybe?" They never expect to be corrected. I give him nothing. I just wait, silent, steady like steel that learned how to melt. He says, "We stop people for a lot less." You know what I mean? That wasn't just a threat, that was a confession. They tell me I can go, but I don't leave right away. I want them to feel the look, the record, the fact that I saw them seeing me, and I'll remember how they made the silence feel like a verdict. I finally shift into drive, roll away slow, never looking back. But I don't go home. Not yet. I reach across the console, left hand still on the wheel, always, and call the one person who matters more than any badge. Jericho, my husband, who just so happens to be a senior agent at the Department of Justice. My voice doesn't shake, doesn't rise. I'm being stopped again. Same spot. Lights. No names. That's it. Calls live, lines open. They see me on the phone now, the posture shifts. The bravado slips. calling a lawyer, or maybe daddy. One of them sneers. I don't answer. I just say, for the benefit of the line still open, they're trying. The next few minutes play out in slow motion. You can feel the air tighten, like the street itself is waiting for a punchline. Then, out of the dark, a black SUV rolls up, smooth and silent. Out steps Jericho, calm as always, black suit sharp, hands gloved, face unreadable. He flashes his badge, doesn't say a word. The officers stiffen. One tries to regain footing. Sir, you need to stay back. This is an official stop. Jericho doesn't raise his voice. He just looks at the officer and asks, is there a reason you think this is official? Not a Quest Iona warning. I step out, stand beside him. We're not shouting. We're not threatening. We're just there, together. He starts listing their failure arrest, no ID check. No reason for the stop. No body cam. Then I raise my recorder, red light blinking. Their own voices start to play back. The jokes, the smirks, the procedural breaches. Their faces go gray. Jericho opens his iPad, shows them the file 3 previous stops, same officers, same night, same lack of records. I file a complaint 3 years ago flagged as provocation. You're Olivia Barnes? He stammers. It's Wallace now. I answer. Jericho sends in the evidence, recommends their immediate suspension. You can't do this. Not here, not like this, the officer says. Jericho says, I'm not doing anything. The system you ignored is. Just then, another figure appears in Internal Affairs, silent but very present. Now the performance is over. There's nothing left to argue. They hand over their badges, and something irreversible happens in that moment. Not violence, just consequences. Within hours, the city is awake. The files go public, emails, footage, everything they'd buried. Olivia's statement plays across every precinct device. No one's angry, just exposed. The old chief is finally removed. The department is under audit. Jericho and I don't celebrate. We just watch the tide shift, knowing this wasn't the end. It was just the moment when silence stopped being surrender and started being a weapon. If you want to know how change really happens, it's not always with shouting or riots. Sometimes it's just two people refusing to be erased, two people who understand that justice doesn't have to yell. It just needs to show up and hold its ground. Now, I want to ask you how many moments like this have passed in your town, your city, without witnesses, without record, without anyone refusing to let it slide? Is silence still protection, or has it become complicity? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about what it really takes to turn the system's gaze back on itself. And maybe, just maybe, make justice stick this time.